Hey folks, walk with me. It's excessively windy out here today. So we're gonna put this microphone and windscreen to the test. I just spotted two cats that I've never seen before. In any case, there was an idea that I wanted to share that I have talked about previously in some way, shape, or form on the philosophy playlist. A lot of that philosophy playlist is stuff in the vein of, or sort of more directly from, the philosopher and writer Alan Watts. But it's this idea that you are not a puzzle to be solved, in the sense that if you're constantly running around thinking, oh, if I could just get to know myself, if I could just get to understand why I do the things that I do, and how all my different parts go together, and maybe I could solve the puzzle that is me, and then I would have this vast array of understanding. Now, I do think there is a utility in learning about your different parts and pieces, and why you sort of react the way you do sometimes, and why certain things seem to really hit a sore spot really quickly. I think it is useful to know those things. However, having this concept that there is like a final picture you that you will have, that's where I think the danger of trying to solve yourself like a puzzle comes in. Because you think that there's some end point in that. You think at some point, I take the last piece and I put it, and then the picture is complete and it's done. In reality, we know that nature is one big thing in motion. And so there is nothing that stands the test of time like change, right? Everything is constantly in motion, in flux, varying from this to that and bouncing back and forth. And you are the same way. And to try to like segregate yourself out from that, and kind of pretend that you are this standalone picture or standalone thing in the midst of it all, this like observer that isn't a part of it but is somehow sort of like mildly separated from it, and it really robs you of the reality that you are, in one way, you are the Big Bang still banging, right? If you take the concept of the Big Bang, I'm not asking you to buy into it, but just whatever propelled the universe into action, into being, whatever that was, as it thrust everything into motion, you are still one of those motions happening, right? Every piece and every particle of you came from something that was piece and particle of something before. And you are just those pieces and particles put into a different motion, doing what you're now doing. And after you're gone, your pieces and particles will become something else, but they will continue to move along with the vast scheme of it all. And the tale of the tape there is no fixed picture of you to be solved, because there is constant evolution and change. And as much as people say you can't beat Father Time, you also can't beat the fact that there is nothing as constant as change. So, ridding yourself of the fixed picture, getting to know your different parts and pieces and peculiarities as best you can, while knowing that if they feel strong today, they might be wildly different in a week or in a year or in a decade, because you're in motion. So it can sound exhausting now that I'm saying out loud this idea that it's this never ending, ever moving target to try to pin down. But if you cannot feel compelled to know anything beyond the best that you can know it, the best that you can describe it, decipher it, unpack it, understand it, then you don't have to work towards some endless goal of 100% or 98% knowledge or something like that. So it doesn't have to be exhausting in that way. You can do the best that you can with it while keeping that in mind, along with everything else that you're keeping in mind and thinking and feeling. And that desire to know yourself in those ways is also just another piece of that puzzle. The puzzle that doesn't exist. The puzzle made of quicksand. So just thought I'd share, but I thought it was sort of a neat way to look at sort of various things that have been mentioned before on the philosophy playlist. All right, folks. Well, if you watched this far or walked along, I certainly appreciate it. And as always, I will see you in the next video.